Hello, hello, hello. How you going? How we doing? This looks crooked. It looks crooked. Why does it always look crooked every day? How we going, my friends? We're at day 14. Day 14. Day 14. And today's topic is a little bit more of a serious one, but it's still really relevant because this is not all money mindset teachers, but I've seen this. I've seen a lot of money mindset teachers stay really surface with what they're teaching, and really not going deeper than like the basic stuff. You know, like when you see they're just kind of saying the same things, but what I've really been starting to understand as I read more and learn more, and real fun stuff like learning about trauma, emotional trauma, childhood wounds, abandonment, like reading really awesome fun stuff, fun books. I'm understanding how that has a bigger implication in our lives, especially around money, especially if we have some stuff that's gone on in our lives around money, and now our association to money has a lot of shame around it, right? Which, as you might know, shame is one of like the most detrimental feelings we can have about ourselves that really hinder us, really holds us back. Brene Brown has talked a lot about shame. She's the shame expert, right? Definitely recommend to go and watch a ton of her talks. Like, I've been listening to The Power of Vulnerability on Audible, and there's some truth in that, some deep truths. And so, as I've been learning about that, I've been understanding there's like many different levels for shame, right? Different levels for shame, different levels for around money as well. And so what I talk about when I say money shame, what I mean is like things that we could have done in our lives that make us feel shame around money, things that we could have observed happening around money and maybe we didn't say anything, or maybe it just affected us in some way and it felt off, and so there's shame around that. Things we could have allowed happen to do with money that has brought on those feelings. So for an example, I've got, if you have a lot of debt, right? If you've acquired debt over time, or if you've put your family or yourself into financial hardship, I understand that people can take on a huge amount of shame around that there is something wrong with them, that they're a failure, that they're a bad person because they put the people that they love and themselves in that situation. There's even deeper stuff that I've been learning about, is people can feel shame around the things that they've done that would be considered bad to them, maybe to society, but especially to them. And what I mean is, like, maybe a person had to go into sex work in order to be able to get money because there was no other way, or chose to go into sex work, or maybe they had to steal money from someone or something, or some kind of company or business or person, and they feel really off about it, really bad about it. Maybe they were in a position of having to beg for money, having to ask for it, being out on the street or something. That, even for me, like in the past when I've had to, like, when I was younger and asking like my mom for money, that to me like made me feel shameful. Like, there's something wrong with you, like stop asking, like don't ask, that's weak. Like having to beg, or maybe you had to hurt someone in order to get money, you know, like physically or emotionally hurt someone, and you feel deep shame around that. Or maybe you had to like do other things, like deal drugs because there wasn't another way, or take a bribe for money because you didn't have any other option, or maybe you had to take a bribe to stay silent about something that was really off for you, like that was wrong, but you took it because you don't want to get in trouble for it, and now you feel shame around that. Like these really deep things, right? And I definitely haven't gone into the full spectrum of what that can mean, but like shame, we carry it with us. Whatever we have done, whatever we have experienced, whatever we have felt, we have made it mean something bad about us. Therefore, we believe we don't deserve money, we're not worthy of it, or that there's something dirty about money, right? So, what I want to say on that is there's nothing wrong with you. Everyone is always worthy of more, and what our job is to turn that around and heal those parts of ourselves that feel that shame, right? No matter what we've done, no matter like what scale it is, we can all feel different degrees of shame. You don't have to go into that deep kind of stuff to experience shame around money, right? And it's about healing. So for me, forgiveness work is super important. Forgiving yourself, especially forgiving others, but most of all yourself, because when you feel shame, it's all messed up in there. So the forgiveness exercise, ho'oponopono, which is a Hawaiian practice, it's writing out everything, like what we do in the journal practice of like writing out all your fears, but this is writing about all the things that you've done, the things that you're terrified of, the things that you feel shame of, everything, all the grudges, all the memories, the negative things, all the memories around money that you have that you want to clear, and then go through each line and like either read it out or say it in your mind, and then say, I forgive you, I love you, I'm sorry, thank you. Or I forgive you, I release you, I'm sorry, I love you. Around those lines, but definitely say I forgive you. And you go through each line, and even though it doesn't seem like that's much, what it essentially is that if you get into this as being a practice that you're devoted to doing, or of releasing, over time what you're doing is you're actually affecting the cells in your body, and they're replacing themselves as you keep doing this practice. So the more that you do it, the more that you commit to forgiving yourself and forgiving others and forgiving situations that have happened in your life, the more that your cells are changing all the time, and that the more they're being cleansed and healed. And so eventually you have like a whole new body of cells that are healed and no longer holding on to that shame and that grudge, right? So forgiveness work is really important. Obviously, I would never say don't go and see like a professional. Like there are trauma specialists out there, and they are amazing at what they do to help heal very deep wounds. I am not that person. I'm just helping with money. So definitely, if you need to see someone, I really would recommend it, because the way to heal trauma is through community and through talking to someone who knows how to get through it, right? Like who can navigate you through it. Yeah. And then of course, what else would I recommend for healing shame is like lots of journal work, lots of like uncovering things about yourself and uncovering new thoughts and new beliefs and new limiting, thoughts and ideas that you have around it. And then be willing to see it differently, and then transforming that with a new, more empowering story. Like with the forgiveness work, replacing, taking those new cleansed cells and like coding them with new thoughts, new beliefs, so that they have like a new way of operating now, so that you move into abundance and move into a place of being having really healthy thoughts and a healthy relationship and healthy associations with money, right? So yeah, that's what I have to say on that today. It actually reminds me of a story of Tony Robbins. I think it's on YouTube, but there's like this he's doing one of his conferences, and this guy stands up, and you can see he is like tormented by something, and then he talks about how he invested his money, and a friend of his gave him a huge amount of money to invest, And basically he lost it all. Like, he lost all of her money, and he was like, he had promised her he would like make more, guarantee her more, like her money was safe and everything, and he lost it all. And he got up and he was so tormented, and he was saying to Tony, I'm going to commit suicide because I know that if I do that, insurance will pay out and that will be enough money to pay her back. And like, it was intense, but basically Tony was like, well, you can't do that now because you just told us what you're going to do, and that's insurance fraud. And then helped him heal and work through that, and to a point where he felt more empowered about being honest with her, because he was scared to tell his friend, being honest with her, and then working to heal that and fix it, right, while still being alive. So, you know, like, if a situation like that has happened where you someone trusted you with something and you fucked up, or it just didn't happen, you know, like healing those parts of yourself and then committing to fixing it, if it's something like that. All right. Okay, I'm glad I talked about that, because I've been thinking about that a lot, like, since I was in Barcelona, I think, and I was like, should I talk about it? Like, it feels a bit off, but yeah, I'm glad I did, and I really, really hope that this helped you or spoke to you in a deeper way. And of course, if you know someone who would find this valuable to hear, please share this live stream with them. And if you have any comments or feedback on today's talk, you know what to do. Pop a comment down there. And other than that, I will see you tomorrow, my love. Okay?